Good afternoon, friends. Today is Friday, February 22nd. I'm recording this for the next week, starting from the 25th Monday. So first, let's look at S&P. S&P in the last, I guess, 3 days, the 2 days we have seen a pretty much a downturn kind of a movement. But what I think is I think it may be just a warning shot, and I don't think that I've seen the rest of all the stocks, and I don't think it has a pretty big significance yet. But given said that, we do need to watch yesterday's low, that is a 1497, and I'm thinking that this is on target to this 1550 and 1555 range. Once it gets to that point, we may really think about kind of a looking at the positions and then find out if we can really continue, or actually we may see a bigger retracement. So last 2 days trading, I do consider it as a kind of a warning shot, so let's be cautious here. Let's look at dollar. Dollar has a very close to a double bottom type of pattern, and I'm actually trading dollar using UUP. Um, in this, I guess in the last couple of days, I actually closed out some of the positions once it became in the money, the UUP calls. So I guess my target would be something like a 81.78, and I guess it could even reach higher. But I think that's when I'll probably be taking most of my positions out. So now let's look at gold. Um, Wow, gold. I guess the basic condition I always keep for the ABC patterns to trade above the EL level, actually close above the EL level. That would be my entry condition, and that probably saved me quite a bit. I have not taken any gold positions yet. Now I think it's kind of looking like it is in some kind of a channel. This channel probably has a range of like from this. 1800 levels to this range, which is at the bottom, which is about 1550 level. So I guess right now we are about that range. We have seen this 1554, and today I guess it kind of bounced to 1580. So now let's see it. If it really breaks down this level, it probably would go down much further down. But if again it breaks out, we'll probably try to see it. But otherwise, right now I do not have any positions in gold. Let's look at QM. Let's look at this chart a little bit closely. Here, there is I am still trading QM using the USO options. So I guess the USO as my targets are still getting into this 99 and 102, $103 price range. So I think that would be my target. And so this actually in the last few days, the oil actually dropped to 200 period moving average. This magenta is a 200 period moving average. So that's where I'll be looking for a key support. If it falls through this, and I guess we need to be careful there. But otherwise, I think it would stop here and probably bounce back from the 200 period moving average. Let's look at another one. Is a okay. This is a. I think I talked about this stock a couple of days ago. They just posted their earnings a few days ago. Pretty solid earnings, and now it's actually breaking out. And this is what I call it is a. It actually has a inverse head and shoulder pattern, and let me show you that in a little detail. So here what I have is an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which also has an ABC built into it. So here is the inverse head and shoulder pattern. Here what's happening is right now, today is a pretty solid breakout, about 4.36. So my targets on this would be, the first targets would be, actually it's all the way to 100% above the neckline. The neckline is $23. So what we are looking for, it is all the way until $34. But I guess the first target range is about 29 and 31. That would be the first targets. Now let's look at Baidu. Baidu, I do not have a position yet, and this is kind of a forming a double bottom. But I think looking at their earnings, it's not a great stock to trade it yet. But I thought that I would just mention and show it to you that this is kind of a double bottom formation. I think anything above 85% of a ABC, I would call that as a double bottom patterns. So here it's actually retraced all the way to 94.5. Let's look at another one. Is a Brocade. Brocade is the one which I'm actually trading it. I guess my targets would be 6.5 to $7. But I guess I am actually trading $6 calls, I think, and so I guess it will probably wait and probably move up at the time I will look for it. But I think that's where the targets is between 6.5 and 7. Next one is the Broadcom. Broadcom is again, it is in an ABC bullish pattern, and it is actually trying to make its move up. So I guess the first target would be on the return bouncing from this 200 period moving average is 35 and 36.5, and I'm expecting it to actually reach much higher. But I guess for now I think at the first target would be 35 and 36.5. Let me show you another one is the Chesapeake. Chesapeake is it is in an ABC pattern. I do not have a position in Chesapeake, but it's kind of forming a kind of a flag or a kind of a rectangle channel, but pretty narrow channel. So if it breaks out above this narrow channel, I think my first targets would be 21 and at 22.75. Let's look at CVX. And this is again with oil. It is also forming a kind of a basic flag kind of a pattern here, but it's very narrow flag comparing, if you compare to the ABC size. So I get it already reached its first target zone between 114 and 118.5, but I am still thinking that if oil moves, I think this CVX also would move higher. Next one is Deckers. Decker, I still have position and I have closed some of them, and then next week is actually February 28th is their earnings, so I'll be waiting for that earnings. But I think currently I have some positions left from Deckers, and the first target would be 43 and 46, and the next targets would be even higher, but let's just wait and see how the earnings come out first. Another one is this is the Pro Shades. This is actually the Euro Ultra Short. The reason why I wanted to show you is there is a head and shoulder pattern forming in Euro, in EUO. And this is the way it works out. So here is the head and shoulder pattern, and then now it's actually coming back and retesting its neckline. So now what we'll be looking for it is if it comes down again, then the next targets will be 16 and 16 and almost $16 price range. So if that's going to happen, then that means the euro dollar is actually has a inverse head and shoulder pattern, and I'll try to show you that in the next couple of slides. Now let's look at General Dynamics. General Dynamics, I took position in General Dynamics, and this is the targets on General Dynamics is 71 and $73, and that's where I have calls to. And Google, I do not have a position in Google, but I thought that I would just mention is for the longest of time, right in the middle of October, I was thinking that Google is going to see this 770 and 807 targets, and that's where it is right now. So it is actually reached its 807 a couple of days ago, and then it retraced it on that market sell-off. Today actually it went up by $4.50, but I think it's still in that range, and I think that is my first target range. Let's look at this IFN. IFN is a India fund company, and here it's actually there's lots of India stocks actually started moving. So I am actually considering a position into it, but I do not have a position yet so far. I think I'll probably show you this next time. Another one is Infosys. Infosys, I had position. I actually traded this ABC pattern, and it actually when they announced their earnings, it rallied quite a bit, and then now it's actually trading even higher. So today is actually close about like close to $2.50 one point. So the next target range would be 56 and $60. um, Intel. I do have positions in Intel. I've taken it actually a couple of days ago, actually, before the market started dropping. But I think I am actually going to wait for it. The first target range is between $22 and $23. Let's look at JCP. JCP, I do not have a position, but this is something which I it's kind of a speculative stock, and at one point I thought that I should consider trading it, but I have not. But I've been keeping watching this stock for a really long time, from almost in the beginning of January, I think. Next one is the Monster Energy. Monster Energy also has earnings coming next week. That's February 27th, and it has a pretty good ABC bullish pattern. And this is actually a perfect ABC bullish pattern. So the targets would be 56 and 59 are the first targets. So let's wait and see if the earnings are any decent. Next one is Altria. Altria, I actually closed the position in Altria just I think like a few days ago when it reached this 100% off. It seems like the trend is going to continue even higher, but 36 to 37 and a half is the target for it. But I had actually 35 calls, so I actually closed them just a few days ago, actually before the market sold off. Next one is Mark. I do not have a position here, and I was thinking about taking a position into it, but I did not. But this is also what I call it the perfect ABC bullish pattern, and it broke out. The entry would be 41, above 41 and 51, and $41.51. And now I think the first targets would be 43 and a half and 44. Today I think it went up by 45 cents, and it's closed about 43 today. Next one is the Nvidia. I do have positions in Nvidia, and actually in the last few months, I think seems like since October, it's on a sideways action. But I think once this is actually very close to a perfect bullish pattern. So here I took the positions a few days ago. Of course, in the market sell-off, it sold off, but I am still expecting it to reach this between 13 and 1363, and I do have 13 calls. Xilinx. Xilinx actually worked out pretty well, and I actually closed a position in Xilinx. But this is how I've been trading this almost mid-November. I had actually, I believe I had like a 35 calls and 37 and 39 calls when just before the market actually started selling off. It became in the money just briefly, and that day I actually closed my positions at the 39. So I guess, but it is actually showing quite a bit of strength in Xilinx. So that would be it, guys, and I will try to post more I guess come next Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you.